Well, boys and girls, I don't know if you can see, you might be able to see better there. The weather at the moment here in Scotland is pouring down with rain, basically. I was going to go for a little walk today, but I mean that is just absolutely torrential now. So that curtailed the idea of a walk today. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to show you some of my bits and pieces that I've collected over the last couple of years on my travels, bottle digging and metal detecting and beachcombing. So I've got stuff dotted all around the house. The wife's not too happy, but there you go. And anyway, so I'll get on and show you a few bits. So where should we start? I'll tell you what, we'll start down at this corner in my little records corner. Well, I say records corner, records and CDs. Let's put a light on as well. There we go. Oh, move my chair out of the way. This is my hi-fi and records cabinet here. Let me just move these CDs out of the way. Yeah, so this slot down here is mostly there's some beachcomb stuff and some bottle digging stuff as well. So as you can see, I've got things like clay pipes, complete pipe there. I should have my glasses on. That's a Waldy pipe, is that one from Glasgow. Nice one, it's got the cork stamp on it. I don't know if you can see that. Then we've got one with the King and Queen on. I can't remember if that's King Edward the 6th or 5th, I'm not sure. Somebody's going to tell me in the comments, I'm sure though. So yeah, King and Queen, that's a nice one. That's one you find quite often when you... Oh, well, I've been bottle digging, I find a few of that one. That is a lovely one with a little acorn in the bottom there, on the bottom of the pipe, and the oak leaf going up the side. So I was thrilled to bits to find that. I thought that might have just been a little... Sometimes they have a little spur, like a little stand on the bottom, but no, this one turned out to be, once I cleaned it, was a little acorn, which is a really pretty little thing. So yeah, that's quite nice. Again, slightly smaller bowl, so that means it's an earlier pipe. The smaller the bowl, the earlier the pipe. Sometimes you can get them the tiny little pipes, and they're dating back to like the 1600s. There's another full pipe. That's just a plain one, a blank one. Can't read the name. T. McLachlan is the maker. T. McLachlan. So that actually might be a workman pipe. Hang on one second. Yeah, I was right indeed. It is. You can't see it on this camera, I don't think, but it does say on the side there, "The Workman" by T. McLachlan. So again, that's a nice, it's a nice little complete pipe. Then I'll show you some of the beachcombing bits that I've found. So things like insulators. Actually, this one was found metal detecting. This one, because it still had the iron through the middle, but that's electrical insulator. I do like these. It's hard to find them in one piece, as you can see. That's a chip out of that one there. But yeah, they're a hard thing to find in one piece in the UK. You don't come across them often. There's another insulator. This was a beachcombed find, and you can see from the smoothness of where it's been broken. But yeah, another electrical insulator. This was found on the beach up at Roo. My big clay marble, which I found one of the recent beach metal detecting hunts that I did. You'll see that if you look back. I can't remember what the name of the video is. I really should know the names of all the videos, but yeah. So that's one of the big clay marbles, and then there's a little pot full of clay marbles and a worn marble there. Again, another couple of bits of that's a caster wheel from a piece of furniture. Again, that was found beach metal detecting. It was just laid on the top. And that one too, slightly smaller version. And we've got things like a little doll's arm. This was found bottle digging, and I was actually amazed that I actually found that. I literally just was shoveling dirt out, and I just caught a glimpse of something white, and I double checked it, and there it was. It's a little doll's arm. That was sheer luck that I found that. and that thing's probably a game counter of some description, maybe even drafts, maybe from a draft set. So and then we've got my German handmade marbles, which came out of one of the bottled eggs. I was with James Green at Detector one day, and we were sharing a hole, and I shoved my shovel in, and out they came on the shovel. I couldn't believe it. These are all handmade, pontle marked German marbles dating from the 1800s. You can see that's the pontle mark on each end there, where it was snapped off. So initially it was like a cane of glass that they would make first, and they would twist it. So they would put the different colours into the glass, then make it into a cane, twist the cane, and then they would chop a piece off and make it into a marble. And that's where you get the pontle marks on the opposite sides. So they're quite cool. A nice selection. They're not in fantastic condition, but I mean, for being underground for probably 100 years, they've done all right. I did have one or two others that just crumbled into dust. Again, it's due to the age of the glass and the damage. Sometimes you get that when you bring items indoors. That was found on a recent beach comb. That's an ink with a pouring lip, and again you can see it's beach worn. I think it's one of the Nottingham ones. I can't remember the name of it, but the larger version of this. So yeah, that was a nice thing to find. And a lot of plain stuff back there. Viral pot. This was one of my earliest pieces. I actually bought this on, I think it was eBay. And yeah, I think I paid about £5 for it all in. I was happy enough to pay that for it. Again, I got this before I started bottle digging. Because I was living in Northern Ireland at the time when I bought this, and of course, if you're caught digging a hole out in the countryside in Northern Ireland, you have a lot of questions to answer. So that wasn't going to be my idea of fun, especially when I worked at the airport at the time. And then a lot of plain stuff. Also a stout bottle, which is quite nice. Stamp on it. I can't make it out. But yeah, plain, unfortunately, but still a nice thing. You know, I'm not going to argue with something like that. A couple of manufacture marks on it, there and there. It's probably been touched something when it was lifted out. As one there as well. Look, a smaller one. So 3 marks. Might have been where it was lifted out or placed into the kiln. And yeah, so just a load of other plain jars in there as well. Nothing over exciting in there. Let's have a look at some of the other stuff. This is one of the vulcanite insulators. I've spoken about these before when I found them on the beach. Again, they've been broken, but yeah, these were made for anti-vandal purposes. So essentially, kids, like I've said before, children would throw stones at the insulators on the telegraph poles to try and break them, and they were quite successful. So to come up with something to thwart the kids, they came up with making insulators out of vulcanite, and it worked because you get them complete. So yeah, again, that was another beachcombing find. Again, lucky to find that one in one piece. We'll go on to my table here, my TV table. So a mixture here. Let me show you. Oh, sorry, that's the little box for the giveaway. This is currently in the process of being repaired. The neck here was snapped off when I dug this, and I decided that I was going to keep it. I decided it was too good to throw away. But yeah, well, I'm currently in the process of repairing that up. There's a lot of work to do yet, as you can see, a lot of work to do. So yeah, we're in the process of sorting that. It'll be a nice thing when it's finished. Then what have we got on here? Well, I'll start below. Look, things like inks, pouring inks. Remember that one I showed you? Well, that's a complete version, one that I found on the beach. So these were all bottle digging. There's another one with a slightly different glaze. I mean, different potteries, you would end up with a slightly different glaze, obviously. And the largest version. Ooh, there we go. Born of Denby. That's one of the biggest ones I've ever found. I would hazard a guess. It's maybe a pint. A pint of ink. Stoneware, pouring lip. Very nice thing. Cream pots. You got a selection of these, as you'll see. That's a Dunragit cream. That was found bottle digging as well. All of the cream pots were actually found bottle digging. There we go. Wigtownshire Creamery of Stranraer. It's quite a common one, that. Still very nice. I'm always perfectly happy. It doesn't matter whether it's common or plain or. I like history of items. Galloway Creamery, preserved cream. You'll see that on the Epic dump dig. And again, some more things like blacking pots. This is what they call a blacking pot. So it would have had like a boot polish inside. And if you remember the old range cookers that people would have in the Victorian times, usually in the fireplace they would have a range cooker, and this was the polish that kept the cooker looking nice and shiny. So again, they come in different sizes and different colours as well. So you've got the off whites there, and you've got these larger. So this is what they call a salt glaze. If you're ever looking at pottery glazing. So essentially, this one would be dipped. So you'd make the piece and then you'd dip it in a glaze, probably a clear glaze. This one actually, and so that's a Grosvenor stamp on Glasgow, Grosvenor Potteries. So yeah, they would dip this in a clear glaze because it was just like a cream stoneware. Whereas this one was like a sandy coloured stoneware, and they would what they call salt glaze. So in essence, they put this into the kiln. And then they would take salt and they would throw it at the pots, and the salt sticks and melts and glazes, and that's the colour you get from a salt glaze, or some people call it a treacle glaze as well. I've heard it called that, but yeah, there you go. So they put these back without breaking anything. And of course, my cannonball. Sitting there, unfortunately, she started to break up when I got her home, but I do keep spraying her with a penetrating oil, and yeah, again the base wood here, I found that on the beachcombing, and the cannonball was found while I was metal detecting on Helensburgh Beach. Amazing find. And so the shelf above, a lot of glassware up here. So things like the Bovril pots, 16 ounce, 8 ounce, 4 ounce, 2 ounce. Those are the only sizes really I've got those at the moment. I know there's a 32 ounce, and I know there's I'm not sure if there's a 1 ounce Bovril as well, but I've yet to find those. A piece of grape shot, again found on Helensburgh seafront. Grape shot. They would have fired a shot from a cannon which contained about 30 to 40 of these anti-personnel, basically, and you imagine 30 or 40 of those coming out of a cannon towards you. It wouldn't have been a very pleasant experience, I'm sure. What we got? That's a safety cap from a 3-inch mortar, Second World War. That was found metal detecting. And I'm sure you might have seen this. This is one side of a pair of sugar tongs that I found on the beach on my way home one day. Didn't even have the detector switched on. That was just laying on the top, literally like that. And yeah, ink pots, inkwells, pen rest inkwell, so you could rest your pen on either side of there. Those are nice things. A small green medicine bottle with a pouring lip, nice. Yeah, I got two of these. These I found in my early days of beachcombing. I don't know if you can see that there. ABGA, and it says British made, trademark. And ABGA was the Anglo-British Glass Association, as I remember correctly. Again, these are from World War II, I believe. These would have been lids for jars. And I found one day. My daughter decided to come with me, and she found one day. And this one actually says "Made in USA." Anglo-British, or is it Anglo-British, or it could be American-British Glass Association. Still, because we had a lot of Americans here, and obviously they were making these both in America and the UK at the time. Obviously for the same products. What that product was, I'm not sure. If anybody can tell me, leave a comment down below. And I'm noticing my shelves need dusting at the moment, so that'll be my next job. Yeah, little lead soldier with his arm missing and his head missing. Quite apt today, it being Remembrance Sunday. That was a nice piece. Again, a metal detecting find. Wooden pipe, or wooden pipe bowl. Again, quite an old one. Found beachcombing, along with wooden stoppers. Bottle digging finds. Excuse me, my throat's getting a little bit sticky here. Small coffee pot from a children's tea set, or a doll's tea set. And again, a small serving tray from a child's tea set. Pretty little things, and you know, it's a strange thing that these were children's toys and they were just tossed away into the rubbish. Some nice blue pieces there. Blue ink quill. It's probably one of my best ones. That's an absolutely gorgeous cobalt blue ink. And then another one. Same design, but I believe slightly older, not as blue. And another cobalt blue mid bottle. Really pretty. It's understandable how people collect this cobalt blue, because it really is quite eye-catching. This little blue bottle, I believe this is what's called a marking ink. So it would be used by architects to, they would have an ink in there, dip the pen in, and they would make little marks on blueprints and things like that, or stones where they need to mark stones to be cut. Still got the original cork in there as well. Again, just a random aqua glass bottle, but it was a nice one with a sheer top. So I decided to keep that one day. One of the metal detecting finds. This was from up at the beach at Rue. I believe that's something to do with a ship, with one of the marker lines on the ship, or possibly even a gun marker. But anyway, we'll maybe never know. Let's have a look at the next lot. So another cabinet, another collection here. So yeah, I'll go through. Look, we've got cream pots on this side, which go all the way to the back there. A lot of these are these Galloway Creamery pots, and again, one or two of these are in repair at the moment. So I'm just working my way through and filling in little breaks like that. I'm no good at painting because I have a shade deficiency, so I'm currently leaving the painting up to my wife and daughter. It gives my wife something to do anyway, although she's not tackled them yet, and I keep asking her. But yeah, Cooper & Co.'s fresh thick cream. This was one of my first. This was my first cream pot find, and again there was a big chip out of it there. Look, but we've managed to fill that in and smooth it off, and it's just waiting for paint. Although I don't know how you'd match that effect on the paint, but we'll see what we can do anyway. Again, another slightly different variation of the Galloway Creamery pot Fresh thick cream, guaranteed pure from Stranraer. Very nice. Again, a chip out of that. This one's got 2 chips on it. Look, it's got a chip there as well, but that's glazed, is that one? So that's a manufacturing chip, but they just put it through anyway and used it. Obviously, they weren't that fussed about quality control then. It was a case of get it made and get it filled up and sold. But yeah, that one's in the process of being made. And there, another Wigtownshire Creamery. Boracised, which was like an additive to a bit like pasteurised, really. It was a chemical that was added to the cream to make it last a bit longer. Some glassware. We got the little Patterson's Camp Coffee and Chicory sample, or essence of coffee. I don't know if you can see there, Patterson's essence of coffee sample. Well, that's a salesman's sample, is that? So it would have been full of coffee, and he would have gone into a shop and said to the shopkeeper, there you go, there's a sample of our product. If you're interested in selling it, have a taste and see what you think, and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, nice to find those. And what else have we got? That one, I don't know if you can see that one. John M. Richards of London. Again, I would imagine that's a chemist bottle. Nice to find so far away from London. Again, found bottle digging here in Scotland. Spite & Co. Limited, dispensing chemists from Glasgow. I believe they are still going. And then we've got things like there's a Vino's there. What's that? It's Elliman's Embrocation. That's for animals, as far as I remember. Let's have a look at some more interesting pieces here. So yeah, one of my earliest, again, first bottle digging finds is a Reed's Lily Springs of Helensburgh. I don't know if you can see that. Let me switch hands here. Yeah, so you can see Reed's Lily Springs, and it says here, you maybe can't quite make it out, so I'll read it out to you. It says, you can't paint the lily, and then there's 2 lilies there, and it says trademark, pure as a lily underneath, and then Helensburgh, which is where I live. So that was an amazing find. I was so made up when I found that. It's an absolutely gorgeous bottle. A crown cap, so it's quite late. Probably 1940s. They closed the Lily Springs. It was bought out by a company called Garvey's of Mulgai. They bought it out and closed it in about 1957. But yeah, I would say this is probably between 1940 and 1950. So that was really nice to find. Nice AG bar. I like the AG bar stuff when it's a little bit different, and that one's a little bit different. So you got AG Bar Limited, so AG Bar and Co. of Glasgow. Some nice bubbles in there in the glass, and again a crown cap. So not massively early, but still nice. A couple of cod bottles here. Hunter and Benny, trademark H&B Partick, Glasgow. Those are really nice. You can hear the marble in there, you can see it. And in essence, the marble would have sat up in the top here. There would be a rubber seal in the top. The marble, once it's full of fizzy juice, actually the rubber seal's still in there, look. So yeah, once it's full of fizzy water, the pressure of the gas would push the marble into the rubber seal and seal the bottle. And then what you would do is you would press down with either your thumb, or there's a little tool you can get which pushes the marble down. And it sits in the neck here because it's pinched in, as you can see. Sorry, that's my dog going. So yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, so your marble drops down and doesn't go into the bottle because it's pinched in there. But then you've got these 2 dimples in the side here. You can see that, which means that when you pour your water out, your marble doesn't move. It sits in those 2 pinch spots. Otherwise, the marble would fall into the neck and and stop your water coming out. But yeah, fantastic design by Hiram Cod. Look him up, HIRAMCODD. That's why they call them cod bottles. This one's made in by C Boron and Co. From Newton Le Willows. So yeah, that's one. And sorry, I'm just working my way through here. And one of skittle bottles that I found on Helensburgh seafront on the beach. John Mackay and Co. You probably can't read this because it's quite sea-worn. Limited, Edinburgh, Glasgow and Newcastle. So yeah, that's a nice thing. Again, cork top. And yeah, lovely. Unfortunately, there is, I believe, yeah, there's a crack in the top just there. You can just see it there now. Look, see that white? Well, that's just a crack there in the glass. But I don't touch this one often, so it just sits at the back of the cabinet because we don't want to cut ourselves again. And again, another cod bottle. There's a G and Seymour of Bridgeton in Glasgow, and this has got the I believe it's a I'm not sure if it's a turkey or a pheasant on there. I think it's more likely a pheasant, to be perfectly honest with you. And that's the pheasant's the registered trademark, as it says there. And then it's got signature G Seymour. So yeah, that's a really hefty piece, is that one. And you got the M for more on the neck of the bottle there. So that's good. Let me just put these back here. Look at me, I've got myself into a right state. I don't know where everything goes now. There we go. We're getting back. We're getting back. And in there. And in there. There we go. Right, I'll just move on to the last pieces then. Oh, two more cod bottles. Show you this one first. This is again another Hunter and Benny of Partick, Glasgow, and this is the again made in Newton Le Willows, but it just says Newton at the bottom. But yeah, this is the I think it's a 6 ounce they call this one. This is the rarer of the two. Again, a lot of cods, they vary in price. They can go from anything from £1 or £2 up to hundreds of pounds, and it's all dependent on, obviously, like anything, as to how many there are. This was one of the first ones, G&P Barry, trademark with Britannia on the front there. And this was the first one that I actually found bottle digging, and it's marked Glasgow and Dundee, and around the very base it says this bottle is the property of G&P Barry. And yeah, great piece, and a great one to find. Literally, that's what started the mad bottle digging gold rush at the dump here in Scotland. Right, these are the bottles in my kitchen that I've got on display. I'm just going to go through these as quickly as I can because this video is going to go on for a long time. So this one, J. Kershaw and Sons, Gateshead and Leadgate. This was one of the first bottles that I ever found, and I actually found it in a skip. It was from a pub that was being renovated, and it was laying in the skip. It had been glued to a shelf because there was all glue all over the base, which I had to chip off, but internal screw top, but I was thrilled to find it. I have a thing for looking in skips. It's just in my nature. So yeah, so there's that one, and then we've got Brown Brothers, Chemists, Glasgow, a nice blob top cylinder, cork seal. Yeah, probably dating Victorian era. Lovely bottle. And then onto some of the bigger ones. A GMP Barry. You just saw the cod bottle there. There's Britannia on the front again, which is their trademark. Glasgow and Dundee. And that one is Nuttall and Co. were the makers of that one. Of Silence, St Helens. There you go. Oh dear. So yeah, that's a good one. Internal screw stopper, that one. And sorry, I'm doing everything really carefully. My wife's mugs are up here as well. So and again a G&C more. You saw we've got a cod of them as well. Again a blob top, internal screw. Simple but still nice. Lots of bubbles in the glass. By all accounts, the bubbles in the glass came from the glass blowers, and essentially when they'd been out and heavy drinking the night before and they came into work the next day, they didn't have a lot of breath at the start of the day, so when they started making the bottles, the bubbles were in due to their lack of breath, so they were having to, rather than blow it in one, they were blowing it in two. And well, that's what I understand anyway, that's what I read online. So you get these bubbles here and there, and again for the blowers that didn't drink, their bottles were usually perfect. There were no occlusions or bubbles in them. And there we go, there's an AG Bar and Co Limited, bar at the bottom, Glasgow. And again we've got a bar stopper in there as well, internal screw stopper. Wishaw and Irvine Bar, Glasgow. And we've got a nice, again it's an internal screw stopper, but it's got this nice odd shaped blob top on it. But this is a SCWS, Scottish Cooperative Wholesale Society bottle. Their trademark is the hands shaking, because it was a cooperative. Limited Unitas, Glasgow. Again, nice bottle. This is what they call sickness, and it's caused over time by the different minerals that are used in glass manufacturing at the time, and it's the minerals that are leaching out of the glass. The only way to get rid of it, you can't clean it. You can wash it for 100 years and it would never come up clean. The only way to get rid of that is to have the bottle tumbled, which is essentially putting it into a tube with like a fine abrasive material, and that literally sands the bottle down. But the only issue with that is that it starts to wear away at the embossing, and you also risk the bottles breaking as well, and it's quite expensive to do. So it's usually tumbling is usually left for bottles that are that have a high value. James Horn and Co of Glasgow, South York Street, established in 1887, and you see the bull's horns for James Horn. 2 sets of bull's horns, they were his trademark. Again, internal screw stopper, and this nice fluting at the top here on the neck just adds a little bit extra to the look of the bottle, really. I guess that's the manufacturer's design for that bottle. Again, internal screw stopper. And what else have we got? We've got a John Mackay & Co, again a crown cap bottle. Chemists, Glasgow, Edinburgh and Newcastle. The odd bubble in there in the glass. Sorry, I'm overreaching here. Let me move my chair. There we go. And the final two, I'll go from the outside. There's an AG Bar. It actually just says Bar and Glasgow on this one. Again, that's the deep dish bar stopper that's on there. Internal screw stopper. Like I say, I collect the bar stuff when it's different. When you've got different designs, you're going to see you're going to see an earlier version here as well shortly. So this is just my clear glass side. And the last of these clear glass bottles, this is again one of my oldest bottles, James A. Reed, chemist, again of Helensburgh, where I live, and that's got the original Reed chemist stopper in, and this actually dates to, I believe, I think it's about 1860 or 1870, around about there, blob top internal screw. This was found on the beach at Rue, and yeah, it's one of my prize bottles, is that one, because it's so old, and because it's Helensburgh, and because it's complete. Again, it's got this this wear effect, this sanding effect from rolling about in the sea. Alright, let's go and have a look at the at the other bottles on the other side. Here we go. These are all sort of dark green amber glass bottles. So I'll tell you what, we'll start on this side here. Look, this is an AG bar bottle in green glass. I'll maybe take you down here and show you. There we go. And it says AGB there, and then it says AG bar. You can see that on the bottom. AG Bar and Co. Glasgow, and this is a blob top, and it would have been a cork seal. So again, that's one of the earliest AG Bar bottles. Again, I think that dates to probably around about 1890. So yeah, again, because that's the colour that it is and the cork top, that's why I collected that one. And we've got a Mayor and Dougal acid etched bottle. I don't know if you can see that. It says, sorry, ooh, switch hands again. It says Mayor and Dougal, Glasgow. There's a little flower etched into that, and again, they would have placed a stencil onto the bottle and then brushed acid onto it, which ends up with this etching. Quite cool. It's a dark, almost black glass. Only downside is that chip out of the neck, but that's on the back, so it doesn't show. And until I find a complete one, I'll stick with that, an undamaged one. You tend to find with bottle collectors that you'll find something rare and it'll be chipped, but you keep it anyway because it's the only one you've got until you get another complete bottle. So it's rather dark here, isn't it? It's because I've only got this one light in the kitchen, you see. And here we go. There's a nice green Vox's Stout. Nice bottle. Original Vox stopper in there as well. That was found bottle digging by myself, as all of them were really. So yeah, a nice uneven top on that one as well. Again, bottle diggers will look for things like this uneven manufacturing. Just tends to make them stand out and be that little bit more special to a collector. And up and down we go and get me exercise today, folks, I'll tell you. This one was a bottle that I found on the beach, and an absolute belter of a bottle. It's let me take you back into this light here. It says Peter Walker and Son, Warrington and Burton Limited. And it's got a queen being led by a little girl on horseback as the trademark. And I really couldn't believe that I'd found that on the beach. It was covered in limpets, and I was absolutely made up with that. Absolutely made up. And I'll show you the other one that I found at the same time, on the same day. This one, and you can see this one's really been sand worn, and it's a Whitley and Co Limited. Oh, sorry, a Greenall Whitley and Co Limited, St Helens, and the trademark of I think it's a young lady blowing a horn. Again, not something you find every day, and certainly not something you find every day in Scotland anyway. Again, a cork top, a couple of nibbles out of it from rolling about on the rocky beach, but yeah, again, you have to live with these things sometimes. This is one of my rarest bottles. Sorry, my washing machine's kicking off here now, look. And this is a John Adams, Main Street, Bridgeton and Old Cathcart. Now this, I believe, is a whiskey bottle, a small whiskey bottle, and it's a very dark glass. It's not green and it's not sort of pure black, and it's not an amber. It's kind of a mixture, really. But yeah, John Adams was a publican, and he owned 2 pubs, one in Bridgeton and one in Old Cathcart, which is not far away from Bridgeton. And yeah, he owned the 2 pubs only for a very short time in the early 1900s it was, and he's quite renowned in the area by all accounts in publican circles. He also had I think he had greyhound dogs as well. It might have been whippets, greyhounds. He was a breeder of dogs anyway. So yeah, thrilled to find that when I was bottle digging. Knew nothing about it, and then found the history about it, and yeah, so again, I believe that to be quite a rare bottle. I've not seen talk of another one anywhere, so yeah. And last but not least, there we go, a Gordon and Blair Limited, brewers Glasgow and Edinburgh. Again, a nice green bottle with the original Gordon and Blair stopper of Glasgow. So yes, there you go. Well, I hope that wasn't too boring for you. I just thought I'd show you that, make a video. Like I said, I did intend to go out today, but the weather's put the kibosh on it, as they say. So I thought I'd show you my collection so far. So it's certainly not everything, by the way. I've got drawers and drawers full of metal detecting finds. Maybe I'll do a separate video on that one day. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well, and then you'll be notified when I put a new video up. You'll see the subscribe button on the right hand side as you look at it, and yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned, lots more to come, and I'll see you soon. Alright, bye for now.